on, waiters?
Hello everyone, welcome to this awesome episode of Education Street, brought to you by the coolest people on earth, from The Follow Through. Okay, and today we are going to dive into the housing phenomenon, because it is quite interesting. It is a phenomenon because certain things are happening that technically should not happen. And we're going to break down the science as to why housing prices have increased across the country. And more specifically, we're going to break down the science for those of us who are living in California. We're going, geez, why is everything so bloody expensive? Now, apologies here while I grab some paperwork from our little file here that was just handed over to me by our beautiful team. So let's break down the science as to what's happening, nationally. For the most part, across the country, home prices have increased, okay? And if you live in states like Florida, Texas, Arizona, Nevada, I think South Carolina, you've had a massive increase in your prices of your homes. Now, what's caused that? You've had massive relocation from the majority of where people live in the country, which is the West Coast and East Coast. And primarily, you've had this massive migration of people leaving California, leaving New York, leaving primarily Chicago, Washington State. Oregon's had a lot of people leaving because of all the craziness that's been going on there. Michigan, has been having a lot of people leave, especially from Detroit. I mean, Detroit, I don't even know if anyone lives in Detroit because they keep leaving the city because it's just so bad. So you've had a lot of relocation from, right now, two of the heaviest populous states, which is California and New York. And then you have those other states that we mentioned, and people are going to these states in droves, such as, like we said, South Carolina, Florida, Texas, Arizona, Nevada. So you're having this surge in demand in your states. And you have low inventory. There's not a whole lot of homes on sale. There's not a whole lot of, in most of America, and I don't know why we suck at this, but we are so far behind the rest of the world when it comes to developing cities, especially the East. When I mean the East, I mean Japan, Korea, and China, and Taiwan. They do an amazing fucking job of preventing, let's say, traffic and all these other nuances because they develop their cities well. They do an amazing job at also developing multi-unit buildings, which is something we suck at. Like, we see this coming from 10 years, in the past, and we do nothing to circumvent the problem. And when it arrives, everyone's kind of like got a thumb up their ass going, oh, like, why do we have a housing shortage? Oh, like, why is traffic so bad? I mean, we're really bad at developing cities. So in a lot of these states, all of a sudden, they have traffic where, like, they've never had it before. And we're really bad, like I said, at getting at the front of preventing traffic and housing shortages and things like that. So in a lot of these states, like Texas and Florida, you have a surge in demand from people who are moving into your states. You have low inventory, right? To begin with, there's not a lot of people who want to sell their homes. And primarily it's because, let's say they want to sell their house. Well, the house that they wanted to buy now is more money. So they're kind of going, why do I want to go? And now, let's say, potentially maybe they've paid off most of their current home. Maybe it is paid off. Maybe they're still making payments, but in their mind, they're going, why am I going to go sell my house right now, even though I get more money for it? But now I have to go spend more money to get into, let's say, another house that I would like to live in, and it's going to be more of a financial burden. There's no fun in that when you're fucking house broke, okay? We don't have multi-units. Most of the country sucks at making it. I think the last time I saw a multi-unit that was properly made was like New York City, but everywhere else in the country does not look like Tokyo or Osaka, or Taipei or Shanghai. Like, we are so bad at providing multi-unit affordable housing units, which then keeps your residential homes at a fairer price. And it kind of, it helps alleviate the situation we are in right now. Also, we have low interest rates. So a lot of people are like, they've been at home for a year. They see how shitty places are like in California and New York. And then they get to, be on the internet 24/7. And they're going, damn, dude, you know what? Ohio's not a bad place. I'll go live there. I'm like 2.5 hours away from each coast. I could get to where I want quicker with an airplane flight than I can driving 20 miles down the street. I get to have a nice house. I'm in a nice community. They have family values out there. They're not confused about certain things. So, people are like, I'm going to go maybe buy a bigger house because interest rates are low. So also in some of those, mass migration states where people are going to, like Florida and Texas, a lot of people want to buy as well because interest rates are low. And once again, there's low inventory, right? Also, there are these creatures that are like pests. They're known as New Yorkers and Californians. They're just fucking stupid. And the problem with those people is they have literally brought all their baggage from their ex-girlfriend, which was California, New York, right? Depending on which state you come from. But it's just a California, right? They brought all their baggage from their ex-girlfriend who cheated on them, lied to them, abused them, confused them, basically told them they're not a man anymore, for example, right? And they made them a cuckold, and now they're coming to like Florida and Texas and they're bringing all these dumb ideologies with them. And so are New Yorkers. They're doing the same shit, but we're just, sticking with Cali people here. And like, let's say the house costs $150 and, because they're bringing all their emotional, quote unquote, trauma with them, they're doing all the stupid shit that made California a terrible place to live in the last 10 years, which is like they see the house for $150 and all of a sudden they're like, fuck it, I'll pay $210 for it. I mean, if you're leaving California and New York, you guys got to leave everything you've been taught in the world. You got to leave it in those states because you're going to be in for a rude awakening. The rest of the country is not like California and New York. They're not confused about things in life. They're not confused about what's important in life. They appreciate having a good life and they appreciate just a little bit more simple things in life, which is freaking beautiful. And they're not dumb. They're not going to go there and overpay for homes. That is what, like, I have friends in Texas. It's happening. And they are so annoyed. And I have friends in Florida. Same issue. So, you know what? I think for those states that are seeing a lot of influx of people from California and New York moving into your states, just, if they overpay on the house, like, let's say you are a native of that state, and some jackass from California came and overpaid for the house you wanted to buy, right? Let's say the house you wanted to buy, let's just say it was $180, and this moron from California paid like $205 for it. First, gather your neighborhood, and for their welcoming party, you should all just punch those people in the face, just to tell them, fuck you very much for ruining the market price now for everyone on this block. Then I think you should egg their house for like a year, every single day. Therapeutically, you'll be the happiest people on the planet. You really will. But that's also a part of the problem for this. For why home prices are going up. You have these idiots from California and New York, these demons, right? These savages, whatever you want to call them, right? Who are bringing their cancerous ideologies to other states. And one of those cancerous ideologies is the fact that they want to overpay for homes. And I think that should stop. You should not do that. You only screw the person next to you and everyone down the street over more. So that is where we are with the rest of the country. Let's talk about California, because that is my home state. If you live in California, you've probably noticed you can't afford shit. It is so expensive. And it breaks my heart. Because the California and American dream is really being taken away from the Gen Yers and Gen Y 2.0, which we will refer to as millennial here. Not only that, but I just think for a lot of hardworking people, like, they're just like, dude, what the hell? Rent's expensive. Homes are expensive. Like, going to the bathroom is expensive. It pretty much sucks. We're going to break down the science as to why California is in this shithole real quick. So first, let's start off with this. For the last 10 to 20 years, most of the big cities in California, San Francisco, LA, Orange County, San Diego, I can't speak for Fresno because I'm not from there, but with a lot of confidence, I can tell you most of the cities in California have had multi-unit residential bans. Okay? Now, the kicker to this is that for a state that wants to pride itself on science, which is complete bullshit, because when science kicks them in the fucking face, they want to deny it, right? So for a state that wants to believe in science, which we know is bullshit, and all the data that was provided to them from the early 2000s going up to 2010 and in the last 10 years, so we've had about consecutively 10 years of data in this last decade, and altogether it's been 20 years of data showing they need to build more multi-unit complexes. So for those who don't know what a multi-unit is, think of like a 10-story building that's an apartment complex or condominium complex, okay? So they didn't build any of those. They banned them. It's why like by 2000, I think 13 or 14, a 4-bedroom house in San Francisco that was like, I think 1,700 square feet literally costs like $10,000 a month to rent. It's why the average home price in San Francisco is $1 million. It's why the average home price in Los Angeles right now is approaching $1 million. So they had these bans on multi-unit developments. Now, what's happened is, even though a lot of people are leaving this state, we're still a big state. So we've had a ban on multi-units, which has resulted in very low inventory. Now, why do we have low inventory? So we've had no multi-unit development. New construction in the last year and a half has been very slow in the state, just like I'm assuming it is everywhere else. And the other problem is, which is similar to some other states, is that people are looking at how expensive homes have become. And the problem in California is like if you live in Texas, right? Let's just say your house, let's just say costs $190, and if you want to get into the same house right now, it's maybe $205 or $215, okay? So you've seen like roughly like a $25,000 increase. To you, that might seem a lot. And in all honesty, it is, right? But on your monthly mortgage, $25,000 increase, I think is going to knock off like $50. It's not a whole lot, okay? Excuse me. In California, you know what the difference is? Home prices have gone up anywhere from hundreds of thousands of dollars to like over $1 million. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So like a house that should cost like $500,000 is over $700,000. A house that was, let's say, $1.5 million is probably $2 million now. So it's pretty absurd. So because of that, what's happened is a lot of people are going, okay, I can sell my house, maybe make a lot of money, but where am I going to go live? Now the place I'm going to go live in, even though interest rates are low, my payments will still be higher because the house costs more. And now I got to go make more payments for the rest of my life. I mean, do I want to keep making payments until I die? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to do that. Do you want to do that? So we have really low inventory. You have lack of construction, no presence of multi-unit development, and no one wants to sell their homes because where are they going to go live? They can't afford it if they sell their house. On top of that, we've had very bad policies by the Democratic elected officials, who ironically are all from the Democratic Party. Now, look, for those of you who are new to Education Street and the follow-through, we are Switzerland. We're not here to choose political sides, but when there is a phenomenon happening, we have to call out the bullshit, and we have to put accountability on people. California is a one-party state. This place is no different than communism. As a political science major, I can tell you, the definition of communism is a one-party system. We've been ruled up and down the entire state by Democrats for 16 years now, and their policies have only benefited them, and now the whole populace is angry, but they don't know why they're angry. Because they want to confuse them and tell them, let's raise minimum wage, which is all bullshit. That's the worst thing you can do. And we're going to scientifically show that to you now. So we've had very bad policies by our leaders, such as not having a multi-unit, development, such as not having high-speed rail, such as not having medium and light-speed rail in the big cities, so that people can move. Let's say if someone wants to live farther out, they can then emigrate back into the city, right? Commute, sorry, I don't want to say emigrate, but hey, sometimes when you live like an hour away, you feel like you're immigrating into your own town, or if you're sitting in traffic for 2 hours, it definitely feels like that. But you want to be able to have you want to have, apologies, we got very excited. You want to have high-speed rail, you want to have medium and light-speed rail. Because what this does is that, for example, the city center of any city in the world is always going to be the most expensive because you are within walking distance of everything that you need. Now, the way most cities work is like, imagine we take this bottle cap, okay? This is the city center. This is where things are the most expensive, okay? Now, when you have medium and light speed rail and high speed rail, as you move farther out from the city center, let's say 30 minutes out, your home prices, right, if they're up here, they start declining drastically. And this is the thing. You're not getting worse homes out here. You're actually probably getting better homes. But for some people, they don't want to live that far out. So they're willing to sacrifice the size, the convenience, and just the space of living farther out for living very close to the city, right? But in a smaller, nicer place. That's the trade-off. But we don't have that. So everywhere is like kind of congested, you know? And on top of that, one thing that no one ever discusses in California is how mandatory minimum wage hikes are the worst thing to do. It makes everything expensive. Your cost of living skyrockets. It's really, really sad. And the reason why politicians do that is because they want to get reelected. So when you hear about minimum wage increases, don't fall for that trap. You know, the politicians have played the plebeians of California so well, and these poor souls, all they do is complain about why rent is expensive, why homes are expensive, why right now in California, I bet when you go grocery shopping, your $200 is getting you like $72 worth of product. Why? Minimum wage went up again this year, drastically. And when minimum wage goes up, everything gets expensive. Lumber, food, clothes, when you go to restaurants, groceries, anything you can think of gets impacted. Now with housing, this is what people don't consider. When minimum wage goes up, the materials all go up. So the cost to transport, let's say your wood flooring, right? That transportation cost now goes up. Now the price of the wood flooring per square foot has to go up because the transportation costs went up. Now because the cost of the flooring went up because of that, and now they have to pay their people more, now that wood flooring that you bought has inadvertently been taxed right now in two spots. The transportation has made it more expensive. Oh, and let's say the transportation drivers, if their wages went up because of minimum wage, now in that little transport truck, the fuel went up, the freight went up, and the wage went up. And now it gets to the wholesaler, right, who sells it to you. He's got to pay his people more money. So, he now has to raise the price of the wood flooring because it's been increased in 3 areas. So by the time it gets to him, it's already been minimum increased in 3 areas. So now he's like, oh, I got to raise the price of the flooring because what I buy it at has increased, and the shipping and freight and all that on their end has increased. I got to pay my people more money. So now I got to pay them more money. So I definitely got to increase it. So things like that will make the pricing of homes and building homes and multi-units very expensive. And that's just one product. So I want to break down some of this minimum wage stuff. I'm going to get to it in like about 1 to 2 minutes. The other thing is we have a lot of regulation in this state, all up and down the state. Basically, we have so much regulation, and the cost of our minimum wage is so damn expensive that I know developers. They have said it is literally impossible to build a house under $200,000. And that's just the cost. So I'm going to give you an idea. Okay? If you're trying to build a 2,000 square foot house, which is roughly like the most commonly sized bought house in the United States, okay? The cost per square foot in California is about $300. Do the math. You want to build a 2,000 square foot house. It's going to cost you $300 a square foot to build it. That's going to put you at $600,000. So when you want to sell that place, you can't sell it at an affordable price. You're going to probably sell it for $700 if you don't want to be super greedy. And this may not include the finishes you put in the house, because those have an additional cost. You want marble? That's about $20 to $25 a square foot. So in a 2,000 square foot house, let's say you have marble, it's another $40,000 that you got to pay, roughly, right? Shit adds up. So it makes the price of the home expensive. So we can't even build affordable housing. So when the mayor and the governor are talking about affordable housing, they're fucking lying to you. When I mean the mayor, I mean the mayor of Los Angeles. And you know what? All these bloody mayors. Like, they're all lying to you guys. When the cost to do construction is that expensive, where we can't even build a house to be below $200,000 that it can sell for $200,000, and the cheapest we can build it out to is $600,000, that's fucking crazy. Guess what? I'm not even making it up. You can look this up. They have shown, the city of San Francisco and LA have tried to make affordable housing, but in the end, they had to put so many glamorous things in them because it was already so expensive to begin with, that even like in LA, we had a project to house the homeless, right? Has a gym, a movie theater. I mean, dude, it's amazing. One of my friends is like, why am I even paying a mortgage on my place? He's like, I'm just going to go say I'm homeless. It has a gym, a movie theater, and the units are nicer than where I live. Each unit came out to 700 G's. So I'm just telling you, you now understand why it's so expensive. We don't have the capacity to make homes cheaper unless if we're like buying like a prefab built home from like some other country and they just bring it here and we assemble it together. That is the only way. Now, part of the reason why it's so expensive, in addition to the minimum wage, is because we have these things in California called the trades. And those are AKA the trade unions. These are the most corrupt mafioso, wannabe mafia of the state. For example, the teachers union 2 years ago went on strike because they wanted more money. One of the highest paid unions in the union, okay, in the country. And they wanted more money for what? For teaching more cupcake education to people? We're ranked 47 or 48 out of 50 in education. We have the worst educational system in the country, probably the worst in the fucking world too. And they wanted more money. But anyways, they got it because our leaders are a bunch of pussies. You know, if we're like we have the top 5 educational system in the world, like maybe like, let's just say it's like probably China, Iran, India, Japan, Korea, let's just say California, like we're in there. You want more money? You get more money. But when we're ranked at the bottom of the bottom, you deserve no money. You deserve to be fired. So anyways, we have these things called trade unions. And there's a construction union. And they have made the cost of doing construction in California very expensive. They want these apprenticeship programs and whatnot. They have blocked a lot of ways to build affordable housing. And I just don't understand why these politicians like even deal with them still. You should basically like give them the middle finger and be like, oh, like you don't want to work with us? You don't want to build affordable housing? Okay, well, fuck you. You know, we're going to go and hire people from wherever and get our stuff done, because our populace needs affordable housing. We need more homes. We need multi-unit developments. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're part of this union, I just want to ask you something. Do any of you own homes in LA? I doubt you do. I don't see any of you owning an $800,000 house in LA, and I'm going to get to that number in a minute. So we have all these things which have made the price of homes very expensive in Los Angeles and California. And now we're going to break down some science, because what would Education Street be if we did not have science? So we talk about minimum wage increases. Coming back to this, okay? Starting July of 2016, our minimum wage orgy hike began. I'm just going to focus on this. We're going to start from 2019, right? Last 2 years. Between 2019 and 2020, the minimum wage went from $13.25 to $14.25 at an increase of 7%, okay? Between 2019 and 2020, the average price of a single-family residence in LA County went from $669,113 to $738,516. That's a 9% increase in 1 year. Between 2020 and 2021, so far, and 2020 was not done yet, the minimum wage is going to go up by 5%. The average home price in LA County between 2020 and 2021, and remember, 2021 has not ended yet, has gone from $738,516 to right now $751,237. That is an increase of 2%, but it's projected to do a 7% increase by the end of the year. We have mathematically determined that when minimum wage increases, the average home price will increase by whatever the minimum wage increase is plus 2%. So let me break that down to you. Between 2019 and 2020, minimum wage went up by 7%. So we know that the average home price is going to go up by 9%, because we take the minimum wage increase, add 2% to it, and then we get that increase for the housing. That's going to hold true for 2021. Right now, home prices, minimum wage will increase by 5% once the new law kicks in later this year, the new hike. The price of homes right now has gone up 2%, but the year's not over. So when we mathematically calculate it, it will be 7% by the end of the year. I mean, between 2018 and 2019, minimum wage went up 9.4%. It's crazy. So these are some of the reasons why getting a house is so hard in LA. One, it's extremely expensive. I mean, right now the average home price is $751,237 in LA County. I think it's a crime that like a 700 square foot room is being sold for close to $1 million. And anywhere else in the country, it would be at least $50,000 to $70,000. Let's just say it's California. Let's just say 100 G's, okay? But it shouldn't be six figures like that. No way. What are you putting your money into? I mean, it should be a crime that it's that expensive. I think people in California, you can't complain about rent and how the traffic sucks and how home prices are so expensive when you keep going back to your abusive boyfriend. You just can't do that. And our abusive boyfriend are Democrats right now. You got to vote them out. Sometimes you got to punish people so that they come back to their senses. It should be a crime for a house to be that expensive in the city of Los Angeles when it's that small, when the average home price is that expensive. Our average home price should be about $300K. A little bit, it shouldn't be this high for such little space. It is so disheartening, So when you take all these things together, it's made our situation in California and LA very bad. Now the politicians are like, oh, now we're building all these multi-units, but guess what, dude? The damage is already done. It's like a 400-pound person wants to all of a sudden lose 250 50 pounds 1 week before their wedding. It ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry. It's too little, too late. So when you look at California and like Los Angeles, let's just recap as to why home prices are astronomically crazy and why people keep getting outbid. You have extremely high minimum wage. You have extremely high costs to build homes. You have a lot of regulation. You have trade unions, which have made it impossible to build affordable housing. We have no medium to light speed rail, which connects the city. We have some rail, but it's nothing like Tokyo and Osaka and London. We have nothing of that sort in which we can really travel from farther out and come to where the main economic areas of the state are. So, for example, if you lived in San Francisco and they had a high-speed rail system where you could live in Fresno, which, by the way, is the 5th largest city in the state, but let's just say you want to live in Fresno, you could probably get there and back in like half an hour each way, right? Great. I think it'd be a great alternative for people who, like, let's say, want to just live somewhere bigger and not be so congested in SF. Let's say LA. Maybe you want to live in Palmdale. If we had medium rail and high speed rail, you could get to anywhere in LA in like 20, 30 minutes. It's like 70 miles from, I think, Rosamond, which is even farther out. Better than sitting in the 3 hours of traffic. So if we had these things, it would alleviate the home prices, right? But we don't. So when we come back, like, let's look at this. We have unions. We have lots of unnecessary restriction. We have high taxes, high minimum wage, high costs to build a house, no medium speed rail, no light speed rail, no high speed rail. We have 0 multi-unit developments. So all these things have made, like, Los Angeles this crazy ground where people are literally trying to outdo one another right now to buy a house. And a lot of people are getting outbid by a lot of money. I've seen $2.8 million homes go over market by like $400K in 10 days. Unheard of. The whole point of the last Great Recession was that we were never going to reach these astronomical prices. But now we've surpassed those. So in LA, all the right elements ironically happened. And then when you're in the right conditions, you will get the superstorm. It was inevitable, right? Like, politicians and city makers, everyone knew that this could happen. They just don't want to believe it. But we could have prevented it. I think that's the worst part. We could have prevented it. We should have made high-speed rail and other types of rail 20 years ago. We wouldn't have, the problem wouldn't be this bad. Instead of getting outbid by hundreds of thousands of dollars, we would have been outbid by like $10,000, like the rest of the country. We need to do away with unions. They're like the worst thing in the world. You look at the states that are doing the best, they don't have unions. I know we're brainwashed to believe unions are great, but really? Look at California. It's union run. Schools suck, roads suck, no high-speed rail, no affordable housing. Do I need to go on? I'm going to stop there. We need to get rid of those things. In the 1905s, yeah, unions were probably great because, like, you know, we don't want children working. I mean, maybe they should. I don't know. But I'm just saying, that was the whole point. I think what's even more, like, just disheartening with this whole information is, I just want to say this. Let's say you take LA County right now, the average home price is $751, $237. If we go back 10 years ago, exactly 10 years ago, the average home price was $384,135. I mean, it is astronomical that it's gone up like two and a half times what the original value is. And you know what's even crazier is when you go back to, let's just say, 2001, it was $269,799. You know what's something that a lot of people don't know? The average home price in the United States in the 1940s was about $2,300. And in the state of California, it was $2,300. You want to know something fun? You know what minimum wage was in 1940? It was 33 cents an hour. So when you hear our grandparents talk about saving up your money so you can buy a house, dude, it made sense. If you made 33 cents an hour and the house cost, the average house, that means there are homes for like $1,200. You could buy a house in like technically 2 years, maybe 2.5 years if you saved up half your money. You know, maybe some people were getting paid 75 cents or $1. Let's just say you made $1 an hour. You worked 40 hours a week. Back then, people worked 200 hours a week. They didn't cap you at 40 hours. There was no overtime. Your overtime was you got to work more hours, right? Let's just say you made $40 a week, right? In a month, you made $160. In about 12 months, you've made, I don't know, like a little over $1,700. So in 2 years, you're like a little over $3,400. You could buy your house, cash, no loan. Just saying. And that's been taken away. I know it's the 1940s, but the whole point is our money doesn't go as far as what it used to. And it's very, very, very just disheartening when you see the average home price be almost $1 million. And you're not getting $1 million house like you used to in the 80s and 90s. Like in the 80s and 90s, the only place that had $1 million price tags were parts, not all, but parts of Beverly Hills. And now you want to tell me like some crap hole place in Eagle Rock, which is 700 square feet, gets $1 million? Eagle Rock used to be one of the most dangerous cities in LA about 10, 15 years ago. It was terrible. And now you want to tell me it's $1 million for 700 square feet? No way. No, I'm sorry. 70,000. I think what people should do if you're going to go buy a house, you guys should be like the Reddit people where you guys fucked up the stock market. Get together and like if a house is overpriced, like let's say you're going to South Central. Right now homes are selling for $800K in South Central. Don't ask why. Don't ask why a house in South Central is as expensive or more expensive than a place in Orange County, which is way the fuck better. Okay? But you should go there and be like, all of you should submit offers like really low. Like submit it to like, if the house is below 1,000 square feet, you should only offer $70,000. If it's between like 1,700 to 2,000 square feet, you should offer between 150 to 200. That's what all of you should do. And it'll set the market and recorrect itself at the correct price. That's what everyone should do. Don't overpay for homes. It is so stupid. And if you are looking to buy a house and you're not in a hurry, honestly, wait. Because all these people who are buying homes are going to deeply regret it when the market tanks in the next 12 to 24 months. The economy is not doing as great as it should. There's a lot of stuff going on that people don't realize. There's a lot of jobless people, and it's very, very sad. Anyhow, if you're in LA and you're wondering why home prices are so expensive and how you're getting outbid, I hope this helped. You know, part of the outbidding to keep in mind is, you know, interest rates are low. So people who can afford some of these homes are aggressively paying more money because they feel like, I don't know, maybe it's like FOMO. There's the psychology behind it is very similar to what was happening with toilet paper. People are seeing one house go for sale and then they're getting super aggressive about the other one, much like toilet paper. They go to one store, it's gone, and then they go to the next one. They buy all of it. And you don't need to do that for a house. Don't buy it like it's toilet paper. I mean, if you're married and you have kids and you want to get out of your parents' basement, that's up to you. Make sure you're not going to be house broke. Make sure you'll be comfortable where you can still go out, eat dinner, maybe take a vacation every year, not like every 5 years, okay? But if you can wait, I think it's going to be in your best interest. But we hope that the science makes you understand why the home prices are so expensive, right? No affordable multi-unit developments. We can't build affordable housing. The unions have destroyed how we can build homes out here. All the red tape and the terrible policies in place by government, all the restrictions that government has placed has made home prices get more expensive. We have no high speed, no light speed rail. All these things contribute to home prices being expensive. In addition to that, it's so expensive in where we live in LA and California that when people there's just no inventory. And the people who do want to sell their homes aren't selling them because they can't afford the other house they want to get into. So the inventory is super low, and we have crazy demand for whatever's on the market because everyone's fighting for it. And the low interest rates are helping certain people outbid one another. So we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope you're able to understand the science as to why this craziness is happening, and it's very unfortunate. And for those of you in other states, remember, if someone overbids for a house, just punch them in the face like they used to in the 40s. It might make some of those brain cells come back and work. And you should egg their house every day for a year. It'll teach a good lesson, and you'll be happy. So on that note, we hope you enjoyed our episode. We hope to see you soon. Just remember, please tell your friends about us. Please click subscribe. You pay for OnlyFans. We're for free. We're just as pretty, I think. And you can also catch us on various podcasting hosting sites such as Spotify and Apple, Anchor, Google, you name it, we should be there. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care.
What the fuck going on, Wailers? GCI, and I should go phone. Right at that in my bitch.